In 1986, I bought a Land Rover Defender, an actual Land Rover Defender, for £50. I've recently been sent another Land Rover Defender, this Land Rover Defender, for £50. But which is the best value for money? I know what you're thinking. You didn't buy a Land Rover Defender for 50 quid. Let me explain. First of all, it was 1980, so £50 was a lot of money, and I bought it from a guy in a pub because it failed its MOT. It failed on the steering rack, it needed a complete brake overhaul, most of the brake lines were shot, needed a lot of welding done, and the horn didn't work. It's quite important in a car that has no brakes and no steering that you have a horn, that way people know where you are when you crash. But none of those things mattered because I was going to use the car on private land, which is what I did, and we used it for carrying stuff around, for logs and this and that. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how I managed to get my £50 back. Anyway, enough about the big Land Rover, let's look at that little Land Rover. So obviously it comes in a box. It's quite nice, pretty artwork on the outside. It says RC Crawler. It says Simulation Series, a 1/28 scale. That's pretty much it for the box. There's loads of pretty pictures at the bottom, but nobody really wants to see the box. They want to see what's inside the box. And inside the box, that crispy plastic stuff that you get with these things on the floor. You get, first of all, you get a bag of scale accessories to stick onto when you've finished taking it out of the box. There's various jerry cans and spacers for the springs, and actually some really cool little accessories that you can put on the top of the truck. You quite obviously get the truck itself, which we'll speak about in a minute. You get a charger and you get a controller. It's a fairly good controller. It's got a foam wheel. But the coolest thing about this model, and the thing that sets it apart from everything else, is it's metal bodied. It's a die cast. It's got a cool little interior, opening doors, which we love. 4-link suspension in the rear, 4-link at the front, so no panhard bar, but we do have, the servo is up underneath and off the chassis. Friction shocks, there's no oil in, no shocks. 300 milliamp battery you get with it. It's tiny, it slots in the back there. So what we're going to do now is get this thing charged up and see what it does. And now a small video montage of the car. I know you like those. Cue music. So the other thing you probably see better now that we've actually got a charge in the battery is it has a full light kit. And when I say a full light kit, I don't mean it's just got LEDs front and back. I mean it has dreaded turn signals. There we go. And it has, this is so cool, reverse lights. Fully proportional steering. And you can see that on the camera, proportional throttle. It is 4-wheel drive. So how does this £50 mini metal Defender stack up against an XCX24 or a TRX4M? Well, I have all those cars and it's not going to beat any of those. It's too heavy and there's not enough ground clearance. I mean, even over these little rocks, which I can assure you an SCX24 would easily jump over, it's struggling, as you can see, and the weight just pulls it back every single time. I mean, obviously I'm not the world's best mini crawler operator, but normally the SCX24, I've been proven wrong, it's going over. So there you go, it can crawl obstacles, but it's too heavy and ends up on its roof in most situations. So it's not really a bona fide mini crawler, it's way too top heavy for that. If you want, in my opinion, and I've got a few mini crawlers so I can speak with some authority, the best mini crawler you can get is the FCX24, the Power Wagon. So which is the best value? The Land Rover I bought in the 80s for £50 or the new small RC crawler that I've got for £50? Definitely the new one. The old one tried to kill me far too many times. At the beginning of the video I said I'll tell you how I got £50 back for the Land Rover I bought. I won it back. A guy bet me £50 that his Range Rover, his shiny new Range Rover that he just bought, could do absolutely anything that my cheap £50 Land Rover could do. And then I drove Land Rover into a tree and won £50.